Hey there, adventurers! Ready to learn some hilarious ways to start a fire outdoors? Let's get this flame party started. We've got 8 side-splitting methods that'll have you roasting marshmallows and telling campfire stories in no time. From channeling your inner caveman to unleashing your inner mad scientist, we've got a fire-starting technique that's guaranteed to tickle your funny bone. So grab your sense of humor, your adventurous spirit, and maybe a fire extinguisher just in case. It's time to turn up the heat. Remember those detective kits you had as a kid? Well, dust off that magnifying glass because we're going old school. We're talking Sherlock Holmes meets Smokey the Bear. Find yourself a nice dry pile of tinder leaves, grass, maybe even some old dryer lint. We're not judging. Now channel your inner detective and focus that sunlight right on that tinder. It's like a solar-powered death ray for kindling. But a word of caution, folks. This technique isn't for the faint of heart or bushy of eyebrow. Trust me, I've been there, singed that. Okay, channel your inner caveman for this one. We're going primitive. Grab 2 sticks, and I'm not talking about those little cocktail stirrers. We need some real lumberjack-approved branches here. Now find a groove in one stick and start rubbing another stick in that groove like your life depends on it. It's gonna take some elbow grease, people. I'm talking sweat dripping down your forehead, grunting like a Neanderthal kind of effort. But hey, think of the bragging rights. Yeah, I started this fire with nothing but my bare hands and sheer determination. You'll be the Bear Grylls of your backyard barbecue. Who knew something you find in your junk drawer could start a fire? Grab a battery, and not one of those tiny watch batteries. Go for the D-cell, heavy-duty kind, and some steel wool. Now, this isn't your grandma's knitting material. We're talking about the stuff that can make your pots and pans sparkle. Touch the steel wool to both ends of the battery. Boom! Sparks will fly. It's like magic, but with more science and less pulling a rabbit out of a hat. Chapter 4. This one's for the purists, the traditionalists, the folks who like their fire-starting methods like they like their coffee strong and reliable. We're talking flint and steel, baby! Strike those two together and watch the sparks shower down. It's like a mini fireworks show just for your tinder. Once you've got a good ember going, gently blow on it like you're trying to revive a tired hamster. Presto, fire! You'll feel like a true survivalist ready to take on the wilderness. Chapter 5. This method is for the patient pyromaniac. We're talking about the fire plow. Take a hard stick and plow it back and forth in a groove you've made in a softer piece of wood. It's like farming, but instead of crops, you're cultivating flames. This one takes some time and effort, so I hope you've got those arm muscles ready. But hey, think of it as a workout with a fiery reward. Plus, you can tell everyone you plowed your way to a fire. They'll be so impressed. Chapter 6. Fire piston, the pocket rocket of fire starting. This next method is so cool, it's almost like cheating. It's called a fire piston. It's this small cylindrical device that you use to compress air and create heat. You put a little piece of tinder in there, give it a few pumps, and bam! Instant fire. It's like a tiny fiery jack-in-the-box, but instead of a creepy clown popping out, you get a beautiful roaring flame. Chapter 7. Chemical reaction. Don't try this at home, kids, unless you're a trained professional. Alright folks, this next one is for the adults in the room. And by adults I mean responsible adults with a healthy respect for science and a fire extinguisher close at hand. We're talking about a chemical reaction using potassium permanganate and glycerin. Yeah, it sounds complicated. But trust me, it's pretty darn cool. You carefully combine these 2 substances, stand back and watch as they spontaneously combust. It's like a science experiment gone right, or at least in a controlled environment. Chapter 8. Soda can and chocolate bar, the sweetest way to start a fire. This last method is so ingenious it's almost criminal. Who knew you could start a fire with a soda can and a chocolate bar? But before you raid your pantry, let's break it down. First, you need to polish the bottom of that soda can until it shines brighter than a disco ball. That's where the chocolate comes in. Use the chocolate like polish, rubbing it on the bottom of the can. The idea is to create a reflective surface that can focus sunlight. Once your can is nice and shiny, aim that concentrated beam of light onto your tinder pile. It's like a science experiment and a snack all in one. And there you have it, folks. 8 hilarious ways to start a fire outdoors. From the classic to the downright wacky, we've covered it all. Remember, safety first and always have a bucket of water nearby. Happy camping!